Hello and welcome. So today I am going to be talking about Wisp. Wisp has been a meta staple in Warframe basically since Wisp's release. And over the years, she has only just gotten stronger with all of the new patches that we've had, the changes, arcanes, subsumes, just you name it, she's gotten it, and it has been a buff and boon to her basically since Go, more or less. And also her proto skin is amazing. But I'm going to be showcasing a couple of builds here. One build is going to just be normal, just kind of, 3-4 form a build, nothing too crazy. The second build is going to be Wisp gets everything I own. Because the second build is going to need a pretty big investment in terms of the Tau 4 shards, in terms of the Forma, in terms of just all of that. I know that that's not all, people's cup of tea, so that's why I've got the two builds kind of separated, and I'll talk about them as such. But yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and get into this. And then, like normal, we have the Archon shards here. I have 4 Tau forged armors and then 1 casting speed shard. The Tau forged armor shards are mandatory only really for the second maximum investment build that I'm going to showcase for Wisp. For the first build, for the abilities that you see here, for the first build, these can be whatever you want. I would encourage, some casting speed or maybe some energy on spawn, but you can, pick your poison. You basically can't go wrong. Wisp can use so many different things. It's just ludicrous. You basically can't pick two wrong here unless you're just purposefully trying to. And now with that being said, let's just go into the build here. I'm going to start with the mods first, just really quickly. Corrosive Projection, less armor, more damage, always good. Prime Sure-Footed, we all know what this does by now. Blind Rage, more power strength. Intensify and Umbral Vitality. Intensifies for the power strength, Vitalities for the health, just to help with the tankiness of Wisp, with adaptation and whatnot for when you do get dealt health damage on this build, and the way that I kind of have it set up. Archon Stretch, this pairs with her 1 with the Shock Mote, so you'll be getting just passive energy throughout there, and then pairing this with Zeneric, you do get a decent amount of energy just passively. If you do not have Archon Stretch, that's fine. You can just use regular Stretch, but I maybe wouldn't go Blind Rage here. I would maybe choose to go something like Transient Fortitude in this slot instead. That way you bring your efficiency up, so you're not just griefing yourself on energy. Now your power strength does take a decent little dip, but at least this way the build is sustainable. Then we have the Prime Continuity here. This is for duration. Wisp 1 loves duration, always want to see it. The Prime Redirection here, this is for shields. If you haven't necessarily caught on to the whole theme yet, this is like a hybrid kind of health tank, shield tank kind of build with Wisp using Pillage. And then Pillage is also really great for this, because in addition to getting a bunch of shields back, and then basically you're able to self-shield gate in a way, it also reduces enemies' armor. So you're shredding their armor, you're getting that back as shields, and then you're refreshing your own shield gate. And then anything that you would be dealt as damage, you would just kind of tank. And then if you can't quite do that, or if you're worried that Wisp would take a little bit too much damage during that, you can always just double cast your Will-O-Wisp, which I think people forget about a little bit. You can cast it once, then cast it again, and then you're invincible for 3 seconds. So in that time, you can also cast Pillage to then refresh your shields, and then you'd be back to being fine. But yeah, this is basically the just starting build here. Oh, and then I think I forgot to go over the arcanes. Arcane Aegis here to, on hit, just it regenerates your shields, always good for shield tanking, and then Molt Augmented, just more power strength. This has been I feel like, staple build, at least for me personally, for Wisp for the past little while now. You, of course, do not have to run Pillage. Wisp is a very, very versatile frame. Pillage is just something that I tend to gravitate towards, but you can run, hell, you can run Raffle Advance and do Melee Wisp because of the haste mode that she has, just making everything just faster. You could do Bright Bonnet, like from Noko. You can do a grouping ability if you want to. There's so much stuff that you can do on this frame. It's really hard for me to I'd be listing off like half of the bloody subsumes in this game, because they all just work with Wisp. So much stuff in this game works with Wisp, it's honestly kind of ridiculous. To go really quick though into some changes to the build here. You do not have to run the Umbral Vitality. I'm just using it because of, well, the other build that I'm sure you all caught on to. And that just pairs with the adaptation. So if you did not want to go like this route, then you can of course just use different like defensive mods and whatnot. Well, I guess you could use health conversion if you really wanted to, but you could do so. If you're planning on using something like Prime Flow in the build, you could go quick thinking and maybe do a little bit of energy tanking along with that in case if you get caught outside of your shield gate and whatnot. You can also go for something like Rolling Guard as well to help with that, or you could throw like both of these in here. The Fuse Reservoir I really like as well, because this is just a nice quality of life augment. This is not needed, but I do think it makes, like using the ones and making sure that these are everywhere in normal missions very, very good. And then all of this also pairs with her passive, where when she's in the air, she's just invisible, going with the whole Will-O-Wisp vibe. And yeah, all of these and then Breed Surge is just an absurd ability. Just the dumbest. And this is her subsume. This is just stupid. Like this, I love this frame so much. She does so much, and she's just really good at it. And yeah, this is what I've basically been running until this. So the persistence build here is going to be the maximum 3 Umbra Forma, 4 Tau Forged Blues investment worth of shit. This is a lot. I understand this is a lot. This is why I wanted to showcase this build first, because not everyone's going to do this, and I understand that. With the persistence build, one of the issues that I was kind of running into was that sometimes just between like the health mode and whatnot, she does not regenerate enough health damage that she is necessarily taking. So what I chose to do in terms of upping up her health regeneration is adding in Arcane Grace, and also the subsume is Omamori. Omamori, when it's procced, also regenerates health. So you're going to have 3 different facets of health regeneration on just together when you're taking damage. This is going to be this is going to be a lot of health regen. And the build is just largely the same. The only difference is I'm using the Energy Nexus here. You can also, if you have it, you can also use Hunter Adrenaline, and this works the same. This more so just relies on getting hit, which will happen, don't get me wrong. But I just, between the Archon Stretch and then Energy Nexus and then having Xeneric and just popping out every now and again, this is fine. But you can of course run something like Hunter Adrenaline if you want here. This is a flex on, and then so is the Fuse Reservoir from the last build. These two are just flex slots for whatever you want to run, but I would highly encourage one of these to just be either the Energy Nexus here or the Hunter Adrenaline, so that you can get your energy up and everything. But yes, the big build, or the big problem that I have found with her persistence, is just the lack of health restoration, and I think that Omamori patches this up very, very well. And also, with Will-O-Wisp, when you double cast, like I mentioned earlier, you can double cast it and then you're invincible for 3 seconds. During those 3 seconds, you, and all this stuff procs, of course, you're still healing through all of that. So you're still taking damage, or you're still being shot at, but you're healing through it because you're invincible. So all of this together makes Wisp very, very tanky. And this has been a really nice build that I have been enjoying for the past little while since we've gotten Persistence, and I was able to find a way around, well, her just kind of dying through Persistence, because I just couldn't regen enough health, and I found a way to do that. So, don't know if I'm the only one who's had that issue, but this is the answer that I came up with. If you haven't had this issue and you think, oh, Mamori's silly, I mean, that's fine, that's fair. You can, of course, just run things like Nourish, like Roar, like, again, really anything else. You can't really go wrong with Wisp. And if you think, oh, Mamori is silly, this build works with a silly subsume. So if you use your better subsume, your build's going to be better than mine, so have at it. But that is the build, more or less. And we're going to go over the companion here. The companion isn't all that's really important. You just want to make sure that you are, whatever companion you're using, you want to have Tenacious Bond. Tenacious Bond, this 1.2 final crit damage multiplier, that does apply to Wisps 3. So, and then that makes it hit a decent bit harder. So regardless of whatever companion you're using, try and have Tenacious Bond on there so that your 3s hits when it goes off and just seeks on enemies, that applies to that. So have that on your companion because you're going to do a healthy bit more damage. Oh, probably should show off the most locked build for anyone who's curious. Here's this, just running a little bit of gas, just some different statuses here just to kind of spread everything. Just showing off some different configurations I have for different settings and instances and things like that. But that's going to be what I'm running. Again, the companion doesn't really matter, just so long as you have that Tenacious Bond going. And this, I'm going to be showing off the Boltor Prime here, just because I'm feeling a little old school nostalgic. I just want to use the Boltor. And then these are the evolutions that I have for this, for anyone who is curious. Because Wisp has so much armor, I am running Bulwark here. If you do not have Bulwark, then you can just easily use something like Crux or something like, I think this, like Merciless if you want. And then, I know that you saw the Riven in the first build. This would be the Rivenless build that you can use, and then Merciless here can turn into Deadhead if you want. It can turn into Crux if you want. It can, like, this can be anything you want if you want to go ahead and try out your Boltor Incarnate with something. But this is how I've run the, well, this is how I run the Boltor, but this is how you can run the Boltor, and this will perform very well, I promise. Before getting the Riven, this is basically what I ran, and this did really well. And going to just be running the Kuvit New Core, nothing crazy, just a little Innervate crit build. Something to proc status, you know, spread the love and whatnot. And then Innervate gets you into those higher tiers of crit. If you just want to use it for a primer, here are a few builds for primers in case you just wanted to take a peek at those. But I'm going to be using the damage variant of this, try and give me some red crit action. And then I have the Path Assist here, not breaking any records. Again, you can use, if you're using her as a melee frame, I suggest using a actual, well, the Path Assist is a good melee weapon, but if you're wanting to use a melee frame, I think you want to use something that's not a glaive. But this is the Influence build. Again, I'm not shattering expectations or anything. This is just bog standard Influence on a glaive. But if you wanted to use her as an actual melee frame proper, we have there's a bunch of options that you can go through and pick. There's the hate, harmony, just all of the different options we have. The Nami solo, just, pick whatever you like. The Okina, she can, because of the haste mode and everything else, she can be a melee frame as well. This Warframe can be whatever you want, more or less. Alright. And we're just going to do the ceremonial little 5 minutes here just to show this off.
Accept your death,
get this
and
going.
you may yet avoid it. Trust in your training.
Alright.
Life support
Probably going
has
to take
been
him a
cut
little
off.
bit of a second, but
They're
yeah.
trying to choke you out.
Well,
Hold on.
this.
I'm sending
Cast that.
auxiliary life support.
Come on. Hello. Hello, there we go. And here we are. And we can see the 3 going out and doing some damage and stunning them. That's always nice. Oh, Momori's popping it a little bit. That was nice. And then you can see we're not really running low or anything on energy. Got this back. Let's try the old... Well, they're blowing up now.
Prepare for life support.
Just want to try out the new core, but yep. This is that. Me try and see about just taking a little bit of damage here. Can try and show off how tanky she is. Here we go. So there's all this. So yeah, I've got Omamori going. I have Kermoke going. There's Omamori proc. And yeah, like they can't really get through all of
a
the
life
healing.
support capsule to the area.
Grace is active,
Activating it will
Omamori's
buy you
active,
more
my
time.
notes are still active. They just, yeah. And then if they do, just double cast. I know I did it really quick, but I did this. That's a slowed down version, but yeah, still have the invisibility. But yeah, that's how you can tank with Wisp. And then see, getting jumped maybe a little bit too much damage there. I can just double cast the 2, get out of that, deal through it. Not an issue whatsoever. Wisp just doesn't care. Or Marie, I guess, since I'm using the skin. Come on. But yeah, I like it. I may play around with using this more with Nourish or whatnot, but this has just been this has honestly just been pretty good for me personally. And again, feel free to change this or tweak this to fit your own playstyle. This is just something that I personally like. Like in the Colorvo video, if you have to run exactly my build, I will tell you that you basically have to run exactly my build in order to get those results. But there are Warframes where you can tweak the build around to fit what you need, and it just doesn't matter because the frame is just kind of fucking stupid. Stupid in a good way, mind you, not stupid in a bad way.
Is now available.
Stupid broken. And wave a little bit. Yep. I think I hit the wall there.
Watch over.
And yeah, this is Wisp in 2026. Yep. This is I forgot how nice this was. I don't have to worry about anything. I forgot how nice this was. I haven't used this in a while because I was testing for other things. Oops, let's do this. Now then. Aha, there we go. I'm trying to use all of this stuff that I can. But yep, just give Sister Mama here, good weapons, good melees,
Additional
and
life support has arrived.
she will do work. I promise you, she will do work. If you do not like Wisp for whatever reason, give these a try. These might change your mind. And melted.
Stand strong, friends.
Alright, and we are at the 5 minutes. Man, that
The
time
raid is
flew
off
by,
to
I
a
feel like.
successful start. When you are ready,
as is life, time
go to
flies when
extraction.
you're having fun. Alright, well, if you stayed around to the end of this, thanks for listening to my blabbering for 5 minutes. I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned something. Try the builds out. If you don't have the investment for all this crazy shenanigans, I get it. You can just use the first build. That's why I've got the 2 there. But yeah, I hope you found something with either one of the builds.
You are a
So,
blade.
thanks for watching
you
the video.
exist to strike.
Take care.
You
Later.
strike to win. The lesson ends.